All right, sound check. Hopefully everything is good. Okay, set the tone real fast. I do talk during these because I have to provide my commentary, but I am able to more better pace myself when it comes to the court watches because it's more like those already public and but I do talk. This is a watch along. It is some commentary in here. This is the Ziyah Harris case. Jarvis Butts is the defendant. Today we're going to be looking at a Detroit Police Department police officer, Christopher James, but the bulk of this will be, I said detective, but I have it written down that she's Sergeant Shannon Jones, and she is the bulk of what you will see on this live today. It's going to be a long one because I do have a lot of notes when it comes to her and I mean, she finishes up the day basically on this one. But I do really believe she ties together her testimony, ties together the witnesses we have seen that have come before her. Some of it obviously is going to be a little dry. The description of the cell phone extractions, the going through the dots, the location bubbles. But listening to her ties everybody that came before her together. So yeah, we're just going to get started. I do have obviously opinions and everything, but let's go ahead and get started with Police Officer Christopher James from the Cyber Crimes Unit.
Were you working back on January 30th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And did you get a chance to perform, I guess in your role in cyber crimes, what is it that you did?
For cell phone forensics.
Okay. Would that include like extractions from phones, extractions from tablets, computers?
Yes.
Okay. And did you get the chance to perform an extraction on a tablet back on January 30th, 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And who was this you got that tablet from, if you remember?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you know if it was from Detroit Police or Detroit Public Schools or something else?
Detroit Public Schools.
Okay. And when you perform an extraction from a tablet, what is it doing? What do you do?
It's pulling the data from the phone.
Okay. And is it like making a complete copy of what's on that device?
Yes.
Okay. And when you perform that extraction, what do you do once you perform it?
Place it on the disk and turn it over to the officer in charge of the case.
Okay. And that disk that you place on evidence, would that be a fair and accurate copy of the phone extract or the tablet extraction that you performed on the tablet for this case?
Yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of just the phone or the tablet extraction, and I believe it's exhibit. It's going to be proposed exhibit 59.
Any objection?
No objection.
It'll be a minute. People's 59.
Thank you. And when you perform an extraction, can you generate what's called extraction reports?
Yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Now, I'm handing you what's marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 60. Can you tell me if this is a document that you recognize?
Yes.
And what is it that you recognize it as?
Extraction summary.
I'm sorry, the door opened. What did you say?
An extraction summary. A report, a summary of the extraction.
Okay. And is that the report that was generated for the tablet extraction that you did?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the extraction that you performed as it relates to this tablet device, which contains contact?
Yes.
And I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 60.
Any objections?
No objection.
Okay, Officer James, can you please pull that microphone off the ledge and testify to the microphone because it's hard to hear. You can pull the whole thing off. Thank you.
And Officer, what? First, Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
So I can follow along with you. Fair to say that you are the examiner name, that would be you.
Yes.
And your organization is the Cyber Crimes Unit?
Yes.
And the investigator is listed as a Detective Gardner. Are you familiar with that person?
Yes.
Okay, who is that person?
Investigator with the Detroit Public Schools.
Okay. And what type of tablet is it that you extracted?
Amazon tablet.
Okay. And in this report, going on to page 2, when you do an extraction, you're able to, I guess, select parts of a device that you want to extract. Is that fair?
Can you ask that again?
When you run a report, are you able to select parts that you want to run a report for?
Yes.
Okay. And so in this case, as it relates to contacts, on page 2, tell me what type of contact is number 1?
Instagram.
Okay. And what is the name associated with that?
J-Bo.
Okay. And what's an interaction status?
A chat participant.
Okay. And do you know what that means?
That they would be involved in a chat.
Okay. And in box number 1, where it says, or let's go to box number 2, where it says user ID. Is that the user ID that would be associated with that Instagram account?
Yes.
Okay. And can you read that user ID for me?
It's going to be 119-202-339-467-400.
I'm talking about for row number 1.
Row number 1,
Yes.
262-854-051.
Okay. And what's the username associated with that?
J-Bo back to the money.
Okay. And there is a contact number 2. Is that fair to say? Number 2 in the box.
You mean phone number?
No, the second account.
Number 2.
Yes, number 2. What kind of interaction status is that?
Friend.
Okay. And what's the
Friend.
okay? And what's the name associated with that?
J-Bo.
Okay. And what kind of user in box number 2 under entries? There's a user ID. What kind of user ID is that?
Facebook.
Okay. And going back up to contact number 1, where it says photos, it's fair to say there's like a kind of a hyperlink there?
Yes.
Okay. And would that indicate that there is something attached to this contact?
Yes.
Okay. And it says photos. Would it be fair to say that would be a photo that was attached?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe that's going to be page 3 of that report. When you click photos, this is the photo that would come up under that Instagram account?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Yeah, we have no questions.
Okay, you're done testifying.
All right, quick recap. Officer Christopher James from the Cybercrimes Unit. He did cell phone forensics. He pulled an extraction from a tablet from the Detroit Public Schools. Obviously, it would be the one that Ziyah most likely used. Let's see. The contact that they were interested in right now would be J-Bo Back to the Money, which would be Jarvis Butts' Instagram account. And now we're getting to our main person, Sergeant Shannon Jones with the Detroit Police Department. And we'll go through it as she goes through her things instead of me saying everything right now.
Thank you.
Time. Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record?
Shannon Jones.
And how are you employed?
I am a sergeant with the City of Detroit Police Department.
And are you assigned to a special unit or division?
Yes.
And what is that?
I'm assigned to Homicide, Missing Persons Unit.
And how long have you been employed in that role?
I've been at Missing Persons since 2013.
And before that, where were you at?
Patrol.
Okay, and how long were you there?
I've been on the department for a total of 24 years.
Okay.
So throughout the prior years to missing persons, I had various assignments.
And what is your role in this case?
I'm the officer in charge.
What does it mean to be an officer in charge?
So I'm in charge of reviewing all the evidence and spearheading the investigations, looking into all the facts and possible suspects and information that's brought to the case and to compile it together.
Okay. And what would be some common duties that you would do in partaking in those roles?
When it comes to missing persons, specifically those type of cases,
Yes.
so a missing person case, when someone's reported missing, we always go out to the home, search the home, talk to family, and try to get a good timeline of when that person was last seen, their common habits, where they are supposed to be, has any patterns changed, are they not going to school and not going to work. If the investigation leads us to believe that that person may be in danger or that there's something more to just not coming home, then we start pulling different video and try to look into cell phone data or friends or associates of that specific missing.
Okay. And in particular, have you investigated what would be known as a no body case before?
Yes.
Okay, and what does it mean to be a no body case?
That would be a missing person that we have come to the conclusion is a victim of a homicide. However, we were unable to locate or recover the body.
Okay, and how does that kind of investigation differ, if at all, from another investigation that you would do?
It's a little tougher. You need to go through and kind of be able to show and establish that this person is no longer with us today. When you have a body, it's obvious, then you can come to the conclusion and work your case that way. So on a no-body case, you're trying to find any signs of life, any evidence to show that there might have been some possible danger or some assault that may have happened to this person.
Now, I'm sorry, when did you get the case of Ziyah Harris?
So it was first requested to me on February 12th. I received the email. It was just kind of asked me to look into the case. It wasn't at our building yet or at our department. I looked into the case and I saw that DPS was initially assigned the case, and I had reached out to Lieutenant Harris from DPS to kind of ask for an update on where they were, kind of see how the case was progressing and any evidence that they may have had.
Okay. So after that, how did it come about that you got this case?
So after our meeting and discussing with Lieutenant Harris and reviewing the different things, it was determined that there had been enough suspicious possible things connected to her being gone. Number one, she's never been missing before. There's been no updates on any of her social media, which is very uncommon for a young child or juvenile. They're addicted to those. There had been a last known contact that she had possibly met somebody, is what we were informed, that there was a text message for her to be picked up, and that would have been the same day that she went missing.
So
Okay, before they keep going, so y'all know Ziyah went missing January 9th, 2024. She was, I'm going to say, informally asked first or assigned the case on February 12th, 2024, and it seemed like right the day after maybe she really started looking into it. But she is going to go on to say, as some of y'all asked in some previous lives, you were like, why did they wait so long before they treated it as if she might not be alive anymore? And I didn't know. I was wondering, what is the normal time that it would take for them to go ahead and pass it on to the homicide unit and stuff like that. And from how she's gonna testify, it seems like they lost precious time. So I do wonder, what's the reasonable amount of time that you have a missing person, you haven't recovered a body? What's the norm that they should have engaged her so they could have gotten some more things that they may now be missing that she's going to talk about?
when you first officially received this case, tell me, what is it that you do right off the bat?
So this case was a little different because we kind of had to go back. We were already a month behind. She went missing January 9th, and now it's February 12th. We start kind of looking into what has already been done and then what steps I would normally take moving forward.
Okay. So what kind of steps do you take moving forward?
So once I reviewed the case, and it was determined that the last person that had contact with Ziyah was Jarvis Butts, I then started to look into his phone records, his activity, places that he had been. On the 12th, we had determined there was already an analyst that had looked at different records and given us a location out in Ypsilanti. So I coordinated a search for the very next day on February 13th. We went out to Ypsilanti. We conducted the search. It's a large area. It wasn't pinpointed down to a specific house. There was a lot of wooded area over there. We had multiple teams out there. There was probably over 60 people at one point. We then started going into different businesses to look for different video that we may be able to recover close to the intersection that we believed would be a good starting point in that search area.
And did you recover, or were you able to recover anything or find anything from the Ypsilanti area?
We did find some video that was eventually pulled from a gas station.
And what was, I guess, the condition of that video?
So the video is from a gas station. It shows the intersection, I believe it's Michigan and Carpenter, which is actually, I think that is like a Springfield township. It's kind of like a little small city just outside of Ypsilanti. At that point, we didn't know exactly what we're looking for, so we just kind of pulled like the window that we knew the devices were out there, specifically Jarvis Butts' device that was out there. So we kind of just pull all of that video before we lose it. And then as we gather more information, we can kind of go back and look at the video to see if there's something now that we can focus in on what we should look for.
Okay. And now that brings up a good point. You said you're a month behind on this investigation.
Yes.
So that, fair to say, being a month behind would cause you to potentially lose critical pieces of evidence.
Yes.
Okay. And some of those pieces of evidence, fair to say, could be videos.
Correct.
Okay. Why would it be that you would be losing those videos?
So most video systems, and every business is different. You got green light, you have businesses and people that have their own residential cameras or property cameras, and it'll vary. Some of them start overwriting in 48 hours, some of them is a week, some may last up to a month. It just depends on how large their system is and how much data it can hold.
And is that a struggle that you encountered in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And where is it that you encountered that?
So there's several cameras and videos throughout the entire route of travel that later in the investigation we were able to identify. But as we identified those locations and went to see if video was still able to be there, it had already been overwritten or was not available.
Okay. Now, I want to take you back. You did the search in Ypsilanti. Did you do any other searches kind of immediately at that time?
Yes.
Tell me about one of them. We're going to go through them, but start with one of them.
Okay. So after we didn't find anything in Ypsilanti, I kind of got to go backwards a little bit and go back to who we had known was the last contact with her, which was Mr. Butts. So we did a search warrant for his home. Later, I believe it was like later that night, 13th into the 14th, we had kind of worked all the way through.
Okay.
We did a search warrant to obtain his cell phone so we could try to do an extraction. We contacted the jail to look through his property. There was no cell phone in the property. We then ordered the jail calls to see if there was any conversations, anybody that he had talked to. We knew that he had turned himself in on February 7th. as we started to listen to those jail calls, there was a call where he had asked his shop partner, Cordell Wright, to retrieve a phone out of a vehicle. We then went and picked up Mr. Wright and brought him down to our headquarters to talk to him about the cell phone. He did confirm and he acknowledged the phone call. He said that vehicle came up there, was a Tahoe, Tashi's vehicle, Tashiana, and that he had looked in the back seat and tried to find where the phone was that Mr. Butts kind of described where he had hid it in this vehicle. He said that he was unable to locate it. So at that point, we then did a workup on Tashiana to find out where she lived, what type of vehicle she had. It matched the description that he kind of described. We did a search warrant for her home in an attempt to locate the cellular device and any other possible evidence that may help us and direct us to where Ziyah is.
Okay. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. You started off with you did a search warrant at Mr. Butts' home.
Yes.
And would that be the one on Wilshire?
Yes.
Okay. And did you find anything at his house?
Yes.
And what is it that you found?
So from his home, we had recovered, there were some electronic devices. We recovered some phones, maybe a tablet, and we recovered his ID, wallet, and a firearm that was with his wallet. I believe there was 2 actual firearms, and then there was a long gun, a rifle that was in the closet.
Okay. And did that search warrant include a vehicle?
Yes.
And what kind of vehicle did it include?
It included all vehicles that we believe may be associated. At that time, we impounded a Cadillac Escalade.
Okay, and the Cadillac Escalade, which most of them that have taken the stand described as pearl in color, that's the one that he I'm gonna say owned, but he definitely drove all the time. That was the one associated with him specifically. I'll wait till she says the other one.
Now, you said at that point you knew that Mr. Butts had turned himself in to, is it the Wayne County Jail?
Yes.
And is that was back on February 7th of 2024?
Correct.
And at that time, did you know how long he was serving his sentence for?
We had got information that he was possibly going to be there until December.
Okay. And that would be completely unrelated to, that sentence is completely unrelated to your investigation?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said that you had pulled some jail calls, and that's what led you to Cordell Wright.
Correct.
And that that jail call that you had listened to, that was previously admitted as People's Exhibit 1?
Yes.
Okay. And that led you to Tashiana Davis.
Correct.
And then you subsequently executed a search warrant at her house.
Correct.
And is that on Neff Street?
Yes.
Okay. And she had a vehicle there that matched a description that Cordell Wright had given you?
Yes.
Okay, and would that have been a Chevy Suburban?
Yes.
Okay. And then you subsequently searched that vehicle?
Yes.
And what is it?
Okay, and so Tashiana Davis, she testified on or around January 7th, 2025, which would have been the day before this sergeant's testimony. And she said she knew Jarvis Butts for 4 years. They met in 2019, became engaged in 2023. They have no children together. She has driven him to court a few times. She took him to court on the day Ziyah went missing. It sounds like, because in my notes I have January 9th, 2024, and that's the day Ziyah went missing. And then there was a February 7th, 2024 date. She drives a 2005 tan Suburban. She also that day, I guess, had asked him where was his phone, because most of the women that were with him suspected him of cheating. They knew him to be with multiple women. Cordell Wright works at the garage that you're going to hear the address a lot about with Jarvis Butts, the 9000 Connor address. Cordell Wright, I think, also had his own ankle bracelet on him, because when another witness testified, Cordell was the one that was working on... No, she knew Cordell because he was the father of her nephew or something like that. And he also worked on their mother's car. I think that's the woman, but they had brought Ziyah to her house one day. She had no association of knowing, that could have just been whomever. She didn't know who Ziyah was at the time. So yeah, but there's something about, I feel like they were tracking Cordell's tether or ankle bracelet too, to see about that time where he was. So yeah, but all right, so that's Cordell's relevance. I'll let her keep talking.
That you found in that vehicle?
I found in that vehicle a iPhone 11, and it was in the exact area that Mr. Butts had described to his shop partner Cordell, where it would be located.
Okay. And that phone, okay, so ultimately, after you do that, what's the next step that you took?
Well, we had to identify that was the actual correct phone. It was in the right place, but we still needed to get it to our headquarters and download it. We had the phone there. We made a call to 911 from that phone in order to see what the identification number was to try to verify, so we weren't just taking random phones. It did come back to Jarvis Butts' phone number that we were looking for. The phone was then placed on evidence and taken to our base.
And what's the next thing that you did after that?
So after that, the phone now is getting processed under the search warrant.
Okay.
It is given to, was given to Detective Markle, where she processed that. We then continued, we had searched the residence on Wilshire, we had searched Neff, we also executed a search warrant at 9000 Connor.
And what's 9000 Connor?
9000 Connor is the location that was identified that Jarvis Butts worked at with his shop partner.
Okay. And did you find anything or anything at 9000 Connor?
We did take some things as evidence. There was a lot of activity going on, so I had multiple different units from within our homicide squad assisting me with different search warrants that we were executing. I believe it was the Northeast squad actually executed the Connor location search warrant. They were advised of some items to look for, obviously children's clothing. We had been given a description of a Rugrats jacket with a fur hood. We were given the clothing description. At that time, we were told that the shoes were possibly blue and white Nike shoes that we had been looking for. There was an area in the shop, as I reviewed the evidence photos, where there's like children's coloring books and maybe things that when the children are there that they're using.
Were any interviews besides the one with Cordell Wright taking place at this time?
So at that time, I had interviewed, when we went to Wilshire, we had interviewed the woman that he lives with. I don't know if that's a fiance or girlfriend, but that was Miss Angel. We interviewed her there. Tashiana was in the hospital when we had executed the search warrant at her house. I had had a conversation with her on the phone while we were there. Her children were there. I scheduled an interview for her later. I believe it might have been like the next day or two later that she came down to headquarters. We had interviewed Cordell at that time, and now we're just kind of going through everything that we had at that moment to try to take the next steps.
Okay. When about is Mr. Butts interviewed for the first time?
So he was interviewed, we got it, looked at it on the 12th, the 13th, we executed all the search warrants. On the 14th, Mr. Butts, I believe it was the 14th, he was brought down to headquarters, or the 15th. I would have to look.
Okay.
So she did try to work as fast as she could, because she got the email about Ziyah's case on the 12th. 13th, they're executing search warrants. They're getting interviews between the 13th and 14th of February. So she's going as fast as she can, trying to get the video footage that can be salvaged. Yeah, that's a lot. And let me see, did she already say this? I'm trying not to skip ahead of her. She said that they have more than 60 people up in the Ypsilanti area looking for Ziyah, different search teams. Okay, I'll keep going.
And that's okay. So it'd be just a couple days after you get the case.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, based on Mr. Butts' first interview, which you were Detective Mays here to testify about, did you do anything based off of that interview?
So based on that interview, we had obtained the text now, which was turned over to us from DPS, which was the initial, I believe it was like maybe 1 week's worth of text now, so like the very end of December into the 1st of January. So during that interview was when it was asked by Detective Mays and Detective Johnson regarding the text message about meeting to be picked up.
Okay. Now, if you know, can you estimate about how many search warrants did you execute?
Probably over 20. Throughout the entire, it has to be over 20.
Okay. And what kind of searches were done in this case in general?
So we searched, as far as like land searches,
All kinds.
all kinds. Well, we searched Ypsilanti as we did our workup, and we're looking at different locations that Mr. Butts had been to. We identified an area out in Clinton Township that he had gone out to back and forth before, and that was an area that Shannon Harris, his child's mother, had lived at. So this was kind of like a route out there, and we located, there was like a big retention pond out there. So that was another place that we had dive teams come out. We had the helicopter, the cadaver dogs, and we searched out in Clinton Township.
Okay, and Shannon Harris, just trying to keep the name straight for y'all while I can till these notes get too big to where, like, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up. But Shannon Harris is Ziyah Harris's aunt. She's the one, she has 5 children with Jarvis. She's, it was her 5 kids, Ziyah, the grandmother living in a house together. Marquita Harris is her twin, which is, and then Kenyatta Harris is Ziyah's mom, her other sister, Shannon's other sister. Let's see. They asked Shannon on the stand before we get to the point where we're going to see more about these text messages with this sergeant here. They asked Shannon on the stand, did she send the messages that were shown on the screen at the time she was on the stand? And she said no. She said she did not, which will obviously be relevant because it's part of his excuse of who he thought he was texting sometimes. She also asked Jarvis to share Ziyah's missing flyers. And she did see a couple messages in Ziyah's tablet to Jarvis. I think it was more the Instagram side, but I didn't write that in my notes to be sure. Okay, so we'll keep going.
As we start breaking down the phone mapping a little bit more on Mr. Butts' phone, it kind of led us to 7 Mile and Berg.
And what's out in 7 Mile and Berg?
So 7 Mile and Berg, there is a vacant parking lot on the southwest corner. It used to be a golf course. So the entire south side of 7 Mile, from Berg and then heading back east, used to be a golf course, which is now shut down. And then on the other side of Berg, there's a parking lot where it has like a vacant building, which used to be the clubhouse for the golf club. And then right behind that parking lot is the Rouge River.
And when's the first time that you get out to 7 Mile and Berg?
We went out once. It was probably maybe a couple weeks later that we went out there. We went out there once, and I remember it had snowed. So when we went out there, it wasn't as easy to search. We're kind of looking if somebody was just placed out there or if something was easily identifiable, but because of the snow, we knew that we were going to have to come back again once that melted because it'd be easier to see underneath.
Okay. And so do you go out there again?
Yeah, we've been out there multiple times. I've probably been out there 7, 8 times, all with various dive teams. We searched the complete river from 8 Mile all the way down past 96 on foot with cadaver dogs, in boats, in the water. There's several log jams. We had state police actually had their helicopter fly the entire route so we could GPS all the log jams. We had to coordinate with specialized teams to come in to help cut these log jams apart, which go throughout the river. And then throughout the season, obviously we had some rain, so the water goes up and down, which now brings the debris onto the land, so you have to actually search the land a couple hundred feet. And in some places that the water has pulled debris. We searched the homes, as I said, searched the vehicles.
All right. So when you're out there at 7 Mile and Berg, do you have an idea of what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the idea of what you're looking for?
So initially when we were out there, again, we had the clothing description. We had the picture of her that she had sent that night, or that day that she went missing on the 9th. So we were looking for the black hoodie. We were looking for, again, initially we were told blue and white gym shoes.
Now, is there a time where that changes?
Yes.
Okay, and what is it that makes that change?
So as we go out to areas and search, when we leave, a lot of times large community groups may go out there, right? And they saw that we were at 7 and Berg, and I know people come out there to help. There was a group that had been out there and they were recording, and they saw a pair of Nike shoes, which were the red and black. We were alerted of those on our initial search. It's documented in our river search report. But because we weren't focused on the red and black, and we were looking for blue and white Nike shoes, we left them there, but we did GPS the coordinates.
Stop you right there. That would have been Border Patrol Agent Wyatt Barnes.
Yes.
Okay, you heard his testimony.
Yes.
All right. Continue.
Yeah. So on our initial search, we knew they were out there. The pink hoodie was identified, but we didn't collect them because, again, we didn't have anything about a pink hoodie or a pink onesie, and the shoes weren't matching. And there's a lot of clothing out there. There's a lot of shoes out there. There's people's clothes. There's all type of debris. So I can't collect every single piece of clothing and article that we find. Later, I get the information that as the search team is out there, they had called 911 because they saw these shoes. And they posted a picture of these shoes somewhere or sent it to Ziyah's brother. Ziyah's brother then reached out to me, and he sent me a picture of Ziyah wearing the black and white Nike shoes.
Okay.
Once I saw she had the exact same shoes on that are depicted, that were described out there, I knew immediately where to go. I gathered a couple members of my team, and we immediately went back out to where the shoes were GPS located and recovered the shoes. As we were there, that's when we found the black hoodie and then the pink jumpsuit that had been laid out by Agent Wyatt.
Okay. Now, as it relates to those red and black Nike shoes, you had a photo that they were associated with Ziyah in some way. Did you ever end up asking Annette to see if those shoes were still in Ziyah's possessions?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ever end up recovering those pairs from Annette?
No.
Okay. And Annette, is that the grandmother? I can't stand the grandmother. I'm telling you that right now. Her lack of action just, ugh. Yeah, Annette Harris, the grandmother. Okay. So I want to know more. Did Annette say she couldn't find them, or did she go radio silent and just not say anything when she couldn't find them? Because of course she wasn't gonna find them, because unfortunately Ziyah was still wearing them, so they wouldn't be in the house. They would be with Ziyah until they recovered them on the river or whatever. But I do want to know, did she go radio silent, or did she at least contact them back and say, I never found the shoes?
So after you recover the pink jumpsuit, the black hoodie, the shoes, what do you do with them?
Those are all, well, the evidence techs collect them. They're placed on evidence. Those items were wet, so I had to wait, obviously, for them to dry. Once they're ready to be processed and they're finished drying, then I create a lab report. And items are selected and turned over to the state police lab for processing to look for any type of DNA evidence.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second. So Jamie says, I think the shoes and clothes were planted there. Those weren't the shoes she had on in the video when she got off the bus. Was there video of her getting off the bus? The only video I saw, I thought, and they never said it was Naziyah, was just, it was it was a little girl, but I didn't think it was Naziyah. That was the one that got off the bus when we saw, it was somebody on the stand, and he was, they were showing the video. It was a white guy on the stand, and they were going over the footage. I thought she never got off the bus. I thought she was intercepted possibly at school or something. And then Put My Kicks Up said, right, and when she noticed the blue shoes were there, what did she do? Being they gave false info. Right. Yeah, I didn't see video of Naziyah getting off the bus because I didn't think that was Naziyah that got off the bus in the one video surveillance footage that we saw. Because I didn't feel like anybody pointed out. And maybe I was just supposed to assume that was Naziyah and everybody knew it was, so nobody said anything. But I thought that was just a girl getting off the bus. I swear I didn't think that was her. So I have to go back and watch that again. So let me know if that's let me know if when y'all saw the video of the girl getting off the school bus, y'all either think that's Naziyah or you knew for sure because they did identify that was Naziyah in that video footage. Because I didn't know that was her.
So once those are placed on evidence by the lab tech, you're the one who then submits them to Michigan State Police.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, because they said she got on the bus to go to school or something like that, but I thought she never made it to her bus stop, never got off the bus. And I'm going from my memory of reading some articles, so maybe I'm mixing something up. I have to go back and reread that part about the bus and rewatch the guy that was going over the footage of her, because the picture of her on my thumbnail is the one that's how she had her hair that day. Okay, Walkhouse, I didn't think she got off the bus. Jamie said there's been so much, but I could have sworn there was a video of her walking down the street, supposedly getting or had just got off the bus, and she had on the color shoes they were originally looking for. There was a girl that got off a bus that we definitely even saw together. I didn't think that was Naziyah. Jamie said the grandma drives them to school and picks them up from school. But they testify she has a bus stop. We have to rewatch about the bus. Not now, because this testimony is so long. You know, you're probably not gonna be able to stick with me right now. But I'm gonna have to get back to that bus detail.
There may be some of the lab reports where I had gathered the evidence and one of my partners had gone down and physically took the items to the lab, which is all in the same building.
Okay, here's the other thing. Put My Kicks Up said, at first I did, but Jarvis said she had long braids and the hair didn't match. I think her hair is in her braids in space buns, just wrapped up in space buns. I'm gonna have to go Google some things. But yeah, I still think it was in the braids. It's so much though. And then you don't know who's telling the truth and who's lying.
Now, I believe you said at least one time when you were out at 7 Mile and Berg that it had been snowing. Were you at all, I guess, familiar with kind of the weather back, let's start with back in January 9th?
Yeah, so I searched it. There's a weather site where you can search the dates in the cities and what the weather was like. On the 9th into the 10th, it had rained here. If you remember, we had a very mild winter. In 2024, the January months, we had a lot of rain that month, which would have caused, the water levels to rise.
Now,
okay, and I am looking at Naziyah's picture. She does have space buns. This does look like they could be braids wrapped up into her little space buns. And I also don't trust, however, he said he sees her last, because he's going to act like he wasn't the last one to see her too, because obviously it wouldn't help him at all to describe exactly how she looked when she was last seen, because he wants to distance himself from being the last one that saw her.
Is there, did you interview a Tijuana Butts?
Yes.
Tell me how that came about.
Tijuana actually reached out to me. Shannon Harris had reached out to me. She had had a conversation with Tijuana. She asked if it was okay for her to give her my phone number. I told her that that was fine. She gave me a call. She said that she was the sister of Jarvis Butts, and that she was concerned that she may have seen Ziyah but wasn't sure on the date and if she could come down and talk.
Okay, and that's all what she had testified to that you had heard?
Yes.
Okay.
And just to add a little more color to Tijuana Butts' testimony, first of all, she was not feeling the defense. She was not there for them, and I totally understand. But she said that she believes Ziyah was with Jarvis. She never actually got to see Ziyah's face. She only ever saw the back of Ziyah. But she does believe she saw Ziyah the day she went missing. She saw Ziyah getting in and out of a Pearl Escalade. She gave Sergeant Jones permission to go through her phone. Okay, that's all that's relevant right now.
Now, when you also heard that she had given Detroit police consent to look at her phone locations and perform a phone extraction.
Yes.
And that Detective Sarah Markle is actually the one who performed that extraction.
Yes.
Okay. Did you yourself look at the phone location data that was on Tijuana's phone?
Yes, so even before we extracted the phone, when she was in there in the interview, she had given me consent to look at her phone. She wasn't quite sure how to get to the locations. She had Google on her phone, so we went to the Google Maps, went to her timeline, and then specifically clicked on January 9th to see if it showed her route. When we got to the January 9th date, it was confirmed that that is the date that she was at 9000 Connor. And it helped us with the timeline of when she was there compared to when we know Mr. Butts left that location to head out to Ypsilanti on the 9th.
Okay. And Banner, may I approach People's Proposed Exhibit 85?
Yes.
I mean 58. Sorry,
Yes.
numbers. Candidates marked People's Proposed Exhibit 58. Can you look at that and tell me if you recognize it?
Yes, this is a Cellbrite extraction report that was conducted by Detective Markle for Tijuana Butts cellular device.
Okay. And that report specifically includes the location data in the subsequent pages as it relates to Ms. Butts' phone. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the screenshot photo locations, location data from Tijuana Butts' phone that you observed that the day when you interviewed her?
Yes.
I move the admission People's Proposed Exhibit 58.
No objection.
Can we be advanced People's 58?
Thank you. And I want to direct you to I guess it's going to be page 3 of the report. Let's go with 4 of the report. Just page 5. Where does it say that Ms. Butts was from 3:45 p.m. to 5:16 p.m.?
So it gives the location described as, on here it says Sitco, and it gives the address of 9000 Connor Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48213.
And do you know do you know Mr. Butts's 9000 Connor Auto Shop to be connected with a gas station?
Yes.
Okay. Now, to go back just a little bit, you said you were kind of going through all of the phone mapping in order to kind of backtrack as to where your investigation goes and where you should search.
Yes.
And those maps were testified to by Sergeant O'Rourke.
Yes.
Okay. Now, she mapped certain locations, and she believed she stated that you had given her some of those locations to map.
Correct.
Okay. Now, I want to direct you to in People's Exhibits 33, 34. Here, may I approach? The blue dot here, what is it that indicates, and what is the importance of that?
This blue dot is going to be 9000 Connor.
Okay. And that's the address associated with Mr. Butts' auto shop?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you didn't watch everybody's testimony, the dots, well, they kind of said it. They mapped where his phone was going. They had pulled everywhere his phone was pinging off the towers and things like that, which the defense did try to poke holes in that. But for now, that's where his phone was pinging. And if you watch the YSL trial or any trial where they've done stuff like that, they kind of are using the same, I want to say it's probably not mathematics, but it's something. They're using the same type of technology, and it's pretty standard to ask where was someone's phone pinging and how can you kind of locate the range of where that person would be within that and all that stuff. So that's where these dots are coming from the reports of the other law enforcement people that mapped out where his phone was going, which, would indicate where he was going.
And is that the same for Exhibit 34?
Yes.
Okay. And Exhibit 35, there's the same blue dot and then a purple dot. Tell me, what is the significance of the purple dot?
The purple dot is going to be the residence that Mr. Butts resides at on Wilshire.
Okay.
Jamie says there was a photo that was one of the last taken of her, and you definitely could tell that little girl was pregnant. I don't know how all those grown women in the house didn't see it. And Rose said, I believe they saw it, they just ignored it.
In Exhibit 36, on page 2, there's like another, it's like a pinkish kind of purple dot. Can you tell me what is, red dot. What does the red dot indicate?
The red dot is going to identify 20,000 Harper, which was the Park Crest Motel.
And on page 4 of 4, there's a lighter purple dot along with that red dot. What does the purple dot indicate?
That dot is going to indicate 4 East Alexandrine.
Okay, and what's the significance of 4 East Alexandrine?
Mr. Butts has a different girlfriend that lives at that location.
And in People's 38, there's a red dot. Which dot is that?
That would identify 7 Mile and Berg.
Okay. And is that the same 7 Mile and Berg? You tell me. What was found at 7 Mile and Berg area again?
7 Mile and Berg area is where we identified the hoodie, the pink jumpsuit, and the shoes. And it's also the area that Mr. Butts' phone was mapping with. There's an additional search area that I did not include when she had asked me before, and that was where the ID was found. We had found the ID or received the 911 call for the ID before we went back the second time out for the shoes at 7 Mile and Berg. So we had also searched all the Evergreen. There's the Henry Ford High School over there. We searched behind the school, the wooded areas, and all the vacant homes in that surrounding as well.
And that would have been the ID that Ms. Smith had recovered?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to go into, you had a chance to go through Mr. Butts' phone extraction, is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And did you also do a search warrant as it relates to a Google account for it, Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Okay. And how was it that you knew what his Google Gmail was?
That was documented when I went through the cell phone.
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully everyone is kind of familiar with her case, and obviously it involves an adult that violated a child, basically. So they're about to go through some of his Google searches, and later on, and I'll warn you again before we get there, but later on, they're going to go through some of the text history. The audio is not going to be the best, but I replayed it enough to where I can hear some of it's really disturbing, but I can hear some of it, and I'll clarify what they're saying. I'll try to censor myself too, but trigger warning on the Google searches that are coming up, and then I'll warn you again before they get to some of the text history.
And you got a chance to go through, or you sent a search warrant to Google for it, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you got a chance to go through that search warrant return?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the Gmail account that would be associated with Mr. Butts.
Correct.
And your may I propose exhibit 63?
Yes.
Handing you a mark to propose exhibit 63. Can you tell me, do you recognize what it is I just handed you?
Yes, this contains Jarvis Butts 82 at gmail.com, which was his Google subscriber information.
And that's the first page. And the second page is, what would those include?
The next pages include searches that I located inside that Google return that we received from Google.
Okay, and does that document fairly and accurately depict what it is you received back from Google as it relates to a search warrant for Jarvis Butts 82 at gmail.com?
Yes.
And I move for the admission of people's proposed exhibit, I forgot, 63.
Any objection?
No objection.
It'll be admitted as people 63.
Okay, now I want to go back to the first page, and so that with the subscriber information, tell me, who is the subscriber?
So it has a Google account ID number, then it gives a name that says Jarvis Butts. It has an email address, jarvisbutts82 at gmail.com. There's also a phone number that's connected to it, which is 313-585-8719.
Okay. And is there a birthday associated with that?
Yes, November 21st, 1982.
And moving on to the searches, what dates do those searches encompass?
These searches are December 9th,
Of what year?
yep, December 9th, 10th, and 11th of 2023.
Okay. And it's fair to say that those are the entirety of all of the searches from those days?
It is not all of them,
Okay.
no.
Those are just select ones from the Google return?
Yes.
All right. Starting with December 9th, tell me which ones that we have in that exhibit.
All right, so the searches are coming up now.
The first, you want me to read the ones that are just highlighted, or you want me to start at the top of here? So,
The ones that are highlighted.
okay. Yep, so this search was December 9th, 2023 at 3:32 UTC time. So you would actually have to subtract 5 hours, which would make it the night of December 8th. And the site is, what's visited, it's Drink Me and Abort Your Baby, the Herbal Abortion Tea by Maya.
Okay. And what about the next one after that?
There is a site that's visited on December, it says here December 10th, 2023 at 9:32 p.m. UTC, so -5. And the site visited is plannedparenthood.org/learn/abortion/the abortion pill.
And
Yes,
the next
the
one.
next search is immediately after that, so December 10th at 9:32 p.m. UTC. The abortion pill. Get the facts about medication abortion. There is a search that was conducted before that on December 10th, 2023 at 9:31 p.m. UTC. And that site is plannedparenthood.org /blog/can I use herbs to have an abortion at home.
And the next
The
one?
next one is December 10th, 2023 at 9:31 p.m. UTC. Can I use herbs to have an abortion at home? Planned Parenthood.
And the next one?
The next one is December 10th, 2023 at 9:36 p.m. UTC, so again, -5 hours. And that site is, it's ansirh.org, research, over-counter medication abortion. Search December 10th, 2023 at 9:36 p.m. Over-the-counter medication abortion, and that's from that same place before, ANSIRH. December 10th, 2023 at 9:32. Planned Parenthood, abortion, the abortion pill. How do I have an abortion using only misoprostol, misoprostol. The next search, December 10th, 2023 at 9:32. Planned Parenthood, learn abortion, the abortion pill. So it's like the same, back and forth to the same site. On December 11th at 11:43 p.m. UTC, so -5 hours, specifically is searched is, can I drink red antifreeze? Again, that same item is searched again right after the same time, 11:43 on December 11th, 2023. And I believe that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so those were his searches. So I don't know if that was exactly about the time he would have found out or not. Also, I don't know, how can I put this? He already was having to show up for another crime he had committed for, I don't know if it was for sentencing or something else, and I think that also accelerated him and made him panic because it was around the time she went missing, which you know, he had to go to court. He was originally scheduled to go to court on January 9th. She went missing on January 9th. So I feel like a few things played into this. Put my kicks up said, does anyone know how far along she may have been? I didn't see, but however, I don't, and see, I'm bad with pregnancies, but however long it starts taking for you to, where you can see it though, like someone's face changing, knowing that you are pregnant. I know you can probably know like after like one or definitely two missed cycles and stuff like that, but her body was changing. So I would say beginning of first trimester at least, but that's just me guessing on the fact that they do keep commenting about her body changing and stuff like that. Jamie said as small as she was, I would think at least 3 months. Okay, so now they're gonna go into more of the text now part. They're not gonna go into the details of what the text say yet. They're just talking about the phone extractions though for the text now and the numbers, who the numbers belong to. Ashley says she had to be shown because one of her aunts was doing the math, was like she's pregnant. Okay.
Now, in that phone extraction that you went through of Mr. Butts, that Detective Markle had admitted, were you able to go through, and I know you had mentioned there was the Text Now app and Text Now phone numbers that
Yes.
have been associated with Ziyah.
Yes.
When you went through Mr. Butt's phone extraction, did you find any of Ziyah's Text Now numbers?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall if what was on his phone? But first of all, did you eventually do a search warrant for Text Now?
Yes.
Okay, and did you receive messages back from Text Now?
Yes, so the initial Text Now messages, again, DPS had done those and they had only gone back like a week. I had another search warrant submitted to Text Now and requested to go back to January 1st of 2023.
Okay.
I want to say again, I am glad that he's this dumb. I need predators to be this dumb so they can be caught. So I'm glad he was dumb enough to search that stuff on his phone.
And when you found these text messages on Mr. Butt's phone, did those include all of the messages that you got back from Text Now, or just only parts?
It's all the messages through Text Now that were to that number that was assigned that Ziyah was using on Text Now.
That's what you got back from Text Now?
Yes.
But I'm talking about on Mr. Butt's phone.
Oh, Mr. Butt's phone specifically was just the messages from Text Now between him and Ziyah.
Okay, and did it include everything that you received back from Text Now, or?
No.
Okay. And Shannon, may I approach?
Yes.
Approaching with people's proposed exhibits 46 and 47. Can you tell me, in exhibit 46, do you recognize what I handed you?
Yes, this is an extraction report for a iPhone, and it was for phone number account 313-585-8719. And this is the section in that extraction about messages.
Okay. And is that exhibit, proposed exhibit 46, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the messages that were on Jarvis Butts' phone between his phone number and the number 213-743-3173?
231, yes. 231.
Yes, 231.
Yes.
Sorry, numbers. 231-743-3137.
Yes,
Okay. And those are the ones that you have seen on Mr. Butts' phone.
correct.
And I move for the admission of proposed exhibit 46.
No objection.
It'll be admitted as people's 46.
Okay. And those cover a period of October 7th, 2023 through November 23rd of 2023. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And now I want to show you a proposed exhibit 47. Do you recognize what I handed you in 47?
Yes, this is another extraction from the phone, and this is under the message section.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the messages that you went through on Mr. Butts' phone to the number 313-379-5882?
Yes.
Okay. And I would move the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 47.
No objection, Your Honor.
You'll be admitted as People's 47. Can you repeat that phone number?
Yeah, 313-379-5882.
Thank you.
Thank you. And those would be from the date period of September 26th, 2022 through September 30th, 2022.
Yes.
And now I want to show you what's already been admitted as People's Exhibits 15 and 16. And these were already admitted. These are certified copies of text now messages. I want to talk specifically about subscriber information within them. In People's 15, is there a subscriber as it relates?
Yes.
Okay, and who is that subscriber?
Excuse me, you need to let me hear. I can't hear you with your back turned to me.
Okay. So is there a subscriber as it relates to that?
Yes.
Who is that?
The username on here is Kenyatta Harris 955.
And are you familiar with the Kenyatta Harris?
Yes.
And how is it that you're familiar with her?
That is Ziyah's biological mother.
Okay. And is there, on the next page, is there a phone number that is associated with that account? They might even be on the subscriber information too.
Yes.
And what is that phone number?
It's 313-379-5882.
And what is the period of usage for which the subscriber Kenyatta Harris had that phone number?
The phone ownership is from September 24, 2022 through November 8, 2022.
We're not going to go through them right now. And for the subscriber information in People's 16, can you tell me who is the subscriber there?
The subscriber here, the username is Ziyah Harris 74.
And is there a phone number associated with that?
Yes.
What is that phone number?
231-743-3137.
Okay. And is there a phone ownership date period for that?
Yes.
What's that date period?
January 1st, 2024 to February 6, 2024.
Okay. Are you familiar with the location of 17500 East Warren Avenue in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Sure, these are admitted. And I'm showing you People's 4, 5, and 6 already admitted. How is it that you're familiar with that location?
This is Frank's Auto Repair is located on Warren, right at Neff, 17500 East Warren. This is a location that Jarvis Butts worked at prior to working at 9000 Connor.
And that's in the city of Detroit, Wayne County?
Yes.
Now, did you yourself, I want to go into the interviews with Mr. Butts.
Yes.
Did you interview Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Okay. I want to start with an interview back on May 31st, 2024. Do you see the person that you interviewed in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Okay. Can you point to him, tell me the color of the clothing that he's wearing?
Yes, he's sitting behind the defense counsel. He's wearing a face mask and he has the Wayne County green jumpsuit on.
Okay. And Your Honor, would the record reflect that witness has identified defendant Jarvis Butts?
No questions.
And we've been talking this whole time about a Jarvis Butts. Is that the same Mr. Butts in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this interview back on May 31st, 2024, where was that at?
That was at the Wayne County Jail.
Okay. And who was all there?
Myself and Sergeant Lance Sullivan.
And do you recall about what time this interview took place?
It was in the afternoon,
Okay. Or about how long did this interview last?
like 2-3 hours.
Okay. And was Mr. Butts, did you ask him about his education and speaking English, things like that?
Yes.
And did you offer him any food or drink?
I believe at one point we had asked him about if he needed some water because we had been there a minute.
Okay. And did you read Mr. Butts his constitutional rights?
I believe Sergeant Sullivan went through those with him.
Okay. And was something used to assist in the reading of those rights?
Yes.
Okay. And Journal, may I approach?
Yes.
Handing you a Smart as People Proposed Exhibit 26. Can you tell me what it is I just handed you?
So this is the Detroit Police Department constitutional rights, advice and rights form.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the one that was executed back on May 31st, 2024 with Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 26.
No objection, Your Honor.
It'll be admitted as People's 26.
Thank you. And did Mr. Butts, did he sign or initial acknowledging his rights?
Yes, he read them and he initialed them and he signed.
Okay. And did he agree to speak with you two?
Yes.
Okay. And I would pass for voluntariness.
Sergeant Jones, you came to interview my client on May 31st, correct?
Yes.
It was you and you said Sergeant Sullivan?
Yes.
Were you aware he was represented by counsel at that time?
Yes.
In fact, did one of you call his counsel and ask for permission to interview him?
On that date?
Not on that date, prior to that date.
Several months before, yes.
In April 17th, in fact, right?
I don't have the exact date, but it was a couple months before that.
And the words used were under no circumstances, right?
Under no circumstances.
May you interview Mr. Butts?
Well, that's not true.
You were not told you could not interview Mr. Butts?
Judge, I would object. This is a legal argument. Only the client themselves can enforce their right. A defense attorney cannot enforce their right to remain silent.
I just asked a question. Was she told not to, she couldn't interview him?
So
1 second, Will. Were you getting ready to say something else?
But and it has nothing to do with this interview.
If we're talking about voluntariness, I want to see, was she aware that he had a right to have his counsel? They contacted his counsel told them, no, do not interview him.
I'm gonna tell you what, now that I've seen this the whole way through, because when I watched it to take my notes ahead of time, I see why his counsel was fighting so hard to hopefully not let this part be admissible. Because the things that they read out loud to him in those interviews, it's horrible. It's horrible. So I see why they were trying to go with, oh, he didn't have his rights read. Oh, they weren't supposed to be talking to him. Yeah, I know now. I was like, you know, oh, maybe he slipped up on something. No, it was just bad. So y'all will see. You'll kind of hear. I'll try to again clarify the audio because the audio doesn't. It's horrible on these police interrogations.
So you're saying this had nothing to do with this interview that you're speaking
Yeah,
of?
this was 2 months prior. That was not this day. This was completely separate. And a defense attorney cannot invoke their client's right to remain silent. That's just the end of it.
It's true.
So, you and your partner went to speak to Mr. Butts, correct?
Yes,
You took him, where did you interview him from? At?
at the Wayne County Jail.
Okay, did you interview him on this was at, forgive me, at Division 1,
Yes.
Beard? Did you interview him on his floor, or did you take him somewhere else?
I don't know where his floor is, so Wayne County had prepared a room for us to be able to interview him.
Okay, so you took him to another room, and you and your partner interviewed him,
Yes,
and you gave him his constitutional rights, and you did not give him food or water, correct?
correct.
You don't know what time of day this was?
Well, I just saw the form here, so I see it's about 1 in the afternoon.
Okay. Were you aware that he was working at the jail?
So I haven't seen their closing arguments yet. I'm trying to watch this as I go, but I'm gonna tell you what. There's a few things that I've seen defense do. That one of them is gonna be he interviewed or was interrogated under duress. My client was tired. He had duties in the jail. He was overworked. He was sleep deprived. He was held an extended amount of time. He wasn't in his right mind. They offered him no sustenance, no water, no food. He was lackadaisically given his rights on, especially that second interview they're going to talk about, because right now they talk about May 31st. They're going to talk about June 1st as well. That's where I see him going with that. His answers almost can't be held to someone that was in their right mind answering it, or like in a rested mind and all that stuff. That's why I feel defense is going with that part. And then, as I've told y'all, but I'm gonna keep saying it so y'all know I said it before they do it. If they end up saying this, I feel like their other defense is there's nobody, and we hate that a little girl is missing. But one, they can't prove she's dead, and two, they definitely can't prove it's anything about my client. But there is a little girl missing. We hope for her family that they find her, but they are not finding enough, DNA evidence or whatever to link this to my client. That's where I feel like they're going, because there is no body and all that stuff. So we'll see. I had some more stuff I thought that they were doing, but I didn't write it down. It was off the top of my head when I was thinking about it. But I feel like that's their strongest thing is going to be they can't find her. They don't even know how she came to her possible demise, and but yet they're just trying to find a scapegoat, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There had been a conversation that he was given some small duties, but that it had been taken away from him.
Okay, do you know if he had worked that day?
That I do not recall.
Okay, and do you know if he had actually been to sleep prior to you visiting him?
When we talked to him, he didn't seem sleepy.
Do you know if he had anything to eat prior to you visiting him?
He did not complain about being hungry.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to pass the voluntariness.
Yeah, they're not babysitters. If they had him at a decent time of day, which 1 p.m. is a decent time of day, and they offered him water, they're not babysitters. You're going to eat during whatever probably your mealtime is, or stuff like that. They're not going to coddle you. And that's not deprivation, because they didn't coddle him during his interrogation. And a 2 to 3 hour interrogation is not long.
Thank you. Now, this interview with Mr. Butts on May 31st, 2024, was that recorded in any way?
Yes.
And how was it recorded?
It was recorded with a body-worn camera from the Detroit Police Department that were issued, and it was also recorded on a audio recording for voice only.
Okay. So is audio and video on the body cam, and then also just
Yeah, so
audio?
2 different factors.
Okay. So, it's fair that you had seen this video prior to today?
Yes,
Okay. And when you saw that video from May 31st, 2024, was that video a fair and accurate depiction of the video interview that took place?
yes,
And I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 27.
Any objection?
No objection.
It would be admitted as People's Exhibit 27.
Thank you. And for the audio, did you have a chance to prior listen to that?
yes,
And was that audio a fair and accurate depiction of the audio that was recorded from the interview back on May 31st, 2024?
yes,
And I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 28.
Any objection?
No objection.
It would be admitted as People's 28.
Thank you, Judge. And you also interviewed him, well, let's go with the 31st. Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
Thank you. And I made
All right, let me tell you now. Let's be patient together because as we listen to this audio of these interviews, it's horrible. The judge even says at first she can't hear, she can't understand anything. On some of the later ones, I still don't know how she's understanding it and taking notes, but here we are. But I will say be patient because there's some of them that they will play the audio, then they'll ask the sergeant questions. So to kind of give context as to what was said in the audio, but be patient. The audio is trash. And I'll try to offer my notes that I have as I have them if they don't really clarify things. If I was able to hear some of it, I replayed some pieces like 5-6 times when I was by myself.
clips this time. I'm not going to play the entire video. From Exhibit 26, and it's clip 1. And this is clip 2. He is very quiet. I don't know if it's my volume that has to go up.
Let me try turning it down on the TV. I can't hear one word.
It's because it's the source. It's a horrible source. I'm going ahead to where they try to replay it again. She's going to get the volume down. It's still not going to be the best, but as you get used to the audio, you'll probably start understanding more and more, and you probably won't need me as much, but I'm still going to do it just in case there's some people that can't hear some of the audio when I can understand what's going on.
This is starting it for clip 2. Now, in that clip, Mr. Butts was talking about him keeping his distance given his history.
Yes.
And that he tried to help as best as he could with flyers.
That he was trying to help with flyers regarding the Ziyah being missing, yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to play clip 3.
Okay, that was the time they summarized it, so you didn't have to guess what was being said. That's what they talked about. Exactly what they just said. He was like, I was trying to help. I was trying to pass around flyers. So that was the first clip. Help us through these rest of them. Yeah, they need to get those acoustics together when they interview people. Like, if you want to use this as evidence, the judge to me is giving some grace, because ain't no way she understands all of these things that's being said, but yet this is, a big part of prosecution's evidence, and you can't hear what's going on. I made myself a note. I said, if this goes to trial, which she approved it to go to trial, but I don't know if he'll take a plea deal before he makes it to like a jury trial, so that's why I put if he goes to trial. But if this goes to trial, prosecution needs to make sure they provide transcripts, and they need to do some type of guided summary question with the detectives on the stand. It's so garbled for the majority of the interview, especially when Jarvis is the one speaking. Oh, and my point for saying that was the jury having to listen to this and understand it. Everybody's human. You are taking away from how this evidence would probably be effective, from people not even being able to understand what is the evidence, what's being said. So they need to ask some really good questions after each clip, something to give context if you can't improve this audio. All right. I think she's gonna say something, but just so I can get used to doing this. Okay. So he was saying that if he's texting her about paying her to clean the bathrooms, to organize stuff around the shop. It's always about, because they trying to work. When I say they, Ziyah and his daughter Janiyah, I think is her name, are working so they can earn like an allowance or money or whatever to work around the shop. So he's saying his communications with her have to deal with picking her up from her grandmother's so they could come to work at the shop.
Now in that clip, he talks mostly about that there was some text messages. He would have the girls come and clean, be at the shop, and he would have work for them.
Yeah, he was talking about he would pick up the kids, he would give them a little bit of money, and they would come clean up and tidy up the shop.
Okay. And that he believes it's normal for her to text him for work.
Yes.
Okay. Now, clip 4. Now, he's referring to seeing a text message but being busy.
Yes.
Okay, tell me what was that about?
When I believe that when she was texting him, he's referring back to when he was interviewed with Detective Mays and Johnson about the messages that she had texted him, and that he had assumed that he was going to be picking them up by the grandma's house. Then he hadn't replied because he was busy working, and then he finally replied with okay.
Okay. Now, you also interviewed Mr. Butts
Okay,
the next day.
Before they go on, because the defense is about to argue about the second interview, the June 1st, 2024 interview. But I believe okay, so when Ziyah was sending those text messages and he finally came back with okay, that was when she was saying, you know, I'm pregnant, all this other stuff. And are you picking me up? I'll be here. Just let me know so I can text you and all this stuff. And he texted back, okay. He's trying to frame it now as, oh, I was so busy. I didn't see the context of what she was texting. I just know I usually pick them up from their grandmother. So I just thought that's what she was saying. I kind of looked at it, didn't really look at the phone. And I just said, okay, because I know if she's saying pick her up, she's saying pick her up from her grandmother's. That's what he's trying to frame it as. Instead of this being an odd, I don't even want to say odd day, but it was specifically about, you know, her being pregnant and are you coming to get me and all this other stuff.
Came back the next day.
Yes.
What's the reason you came back the next day?
We had some more questions.
Okay. And was he once again, I guess, was he still constrained by that advice of rights?
We had him sign another one. He read another one that day, and he signed it that day as well. I'm pretty sure, or we showed him this and he agreed to it. That's what it was. This was the paper. We showed him, he agreed to it, he understood it, and he continued to talk.
Okay. So you were using that same form?
Yes.
Okay. And once again, sorry. Sorry. Okay. And once again, he acknowledged his rights.
Yes.
And he did continue to speak with you.
Yes.
Okay. And he didn't mention anything about not wanting to speak with you.
Correct.
And did he give you any reason in your experience to think that him speaking with you wasn't voluntary?
No.
And just one second. You know, I passed for voir dire to voluntariness for the June 1st statement.
Sergeant, do you recall on June 1st you were with your partner, Sullivan? You didn't have him sign a form.
Well, we had presented this back to him. We had this form, advised him that this was still, if he understood his rights, and he agreed.
So your words, I believe, were you remember the form you signed yesterday. You still understand that?
Did I say that, or did
No,
Sergeant Sullivan say that?
Sergeant Sullivan said that.
Okay. You want me to say what Sergeant Sullivan said?
No, I just want, you went with your partner and you understand that nobody had him sign anything that day.
That he was re-advised of the rights from the form that he had signed the first day, and he was shown the form, and he agreed to continue to talk.
Are you sure he was re-advised or told you remember signing a form yesterday?
You would have to play to hear the exact, I can't tell you the exact words that Sergeant Sullivan said. I don't recall his exact words.
So, Your Honor, I'm going to object to this. As I recall hearing this tape, there was no reading of rights for the second date. The only thing that happened on the second date was he was advised, do you recall signing the form yesterday? Yeah, that still applies.
All right, this is where the defense tried to get slick. First of all, they really, really don't want the judge to hear what these sergeants, officers are about to read off from those text messages. He does not want her to hear this because it's bad. Secondly, he's like, I object to it being heard because I don't recall. Thankfully, the judge is sharp and you'll see what she says, but he's trying to get it out. But it actually hasn't been established that for sure they didn't ask the right questions. He's going off of, I didn't hear it, so therefore I want it out. But here's what the judge says.
That's not.
Do you want to play it so that I can hear it?
Sure. You want to play June 1st beginning, probably the first 5 minutes.
Now, I was confused when this first happened. So what she's actually going to end up doing is replaying the beginning of May 31st to show him being fully read, or he fully reads his rights off the paper. He's initialing it. He's signing it. Then she's going to play June 1st to where they allude back to the May 31st reading of his rights. Does he want to go over it again and all that?
Sorry, hold on. This is 5:31.
This is not like that. We gotta talk in 2 minutes to get out of here, right? I'd like to talk to you, right? I'd like to get a little, if there's things that we don't want to talk about, just send this in, right? Let's get there and talk about this. Is that fair? Right, honestly, there's no, we're not gonna flip the script. Yeah, we're not gonna flip the script, so we're all figuring out. There's just a lot of things going on. We're involved in some of it. We're just trying to get like our mind wrapped around some of it. Is that fair? Okay, you're familiar with the rights, right? Do me a favor, I should not before I read this to me. You can read right. I've heard it most of it. Okay, where at? Where at? Oh, okay, nice. Nice. If you could look into this and read those, and then initial it, so you can understand. Rights of the very side of the legal abstraction of questions, which we would make any statements. Any statement on any or anything I say, we would use an incident for the law. The rights of the attorney, present before, and then telling my answer any questions or any statements. If I can go before the attorney, all will be wonderful to do without causing the court prior to any question. I can decide at any time to exercise my rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. I understand that these are the rights of the law, and I have not neglected or promised anything, and I have now desired to release answer any questions. Let's see if we're ready to see. Any questions about those? Okay, do me a favor, just initial next to each line, and then without this, I'll sign it. And my partner sign it. So we're ready to get done, and I'll explain it to you. Yes. And then sign it, signature, and then you can sign it. Sign there, just we'll sign it there, you sign right there. That's it, May 31st already. There, almost 60, yeah. What they're ready to do on there now, I'll explain it.
Jamie, this audio is so trash. It's so trash. Okay, so y'all saw this is May 31st. They asked him, do you love the English language? Can you read all this stuff? He read his what is it called? It had a very specific name. Advice of his rights, his constitutional rights. So he read it. He initialed by each statement he read. Then I think he had to actually sign it. Then they sign it. So that's his first one that he got about his rights before. And then they ask, do you wish to still speak with us? Okay.
For the record, that
All right, now they are playing off of this one for the one on June 1st, and we're seeing exactly how did the man ask him about his rights on June 1st as opposed to May 31st.
was from People's Exhibit 27, and it was paused at 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Exhibit playing at 1 minute and 22 seconds.
I'm literally leaving tomorrow morning, Sunday I'm flight to Boston for 2 weeks. And I think, how would that look like? We talked to you, tell me a good talk, we had certainly, some stuff that we went back and looked at, And I think, if I come back 3 weeks from now, you're probably like, I don't remember that conversation. I just thought if we could, because I didn't talk to you this morning or today, and then no one would have gone for 2 weeks, right? So if you want to talk to me after, if you want to, this is going to be the end. Does that make sense? Okay, so then decide, just say that, turn the table, right? You guys come talk to me, and 2 weeks, I mean, you guys have the third week, right, yes, right? So if I'd like to ask if we kind of continue our talk, we talk some more.
All right, so he took a long time to say he was going to be on a trip for 2 weeks, so this is the only other day he could talk to him, which was the day after they just talked to him. And it's a two-way street. Do you want to talk to us? If you think of something, blah blah blah. That's what, and this is me guessing because I still can't for sure hear them clearly, but that's what I had gotten from this.
Okay, alright, so, but yeah, same rules apply, nothing's changed. We don't want to talk about something, I'll talk about something. There's no training on it, so.
All right, he says same rules apply, nothing's changed. If you don't want to talk about something, you don't have to talk about something.
You're right, yes, I'll probably just have to sign it with the form, right? Just so you're protected, we're protected. You want to just continue with this one. Okay, you're still familiar with your rights, correct? Okay, nothing's changed, right?
All right, they said you can sign a different form or you can continue with the form you already signed yesterday. Do you still understand your rights? They might say something else, but my brain only goes so far. But that they're referring to the last one. This is what his defense attorney is objecting to, saying that they just kind of, by the way, his rights. So.
I paused Exhibit 29 at 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Judge, I would just say that it's Mr. Butts who agrees to continue with just that form. And I would also argue that another form is not actually needed. He did have that form in front of him. And in fact, because there was not even an invocation of a right, or there was nothing that would be, ambiguous or unequivocal, that there doesn't need to be another form signed. And Mr. Butts is clearly aware of his rights, as he stated. And he is the one who agreed to be okay with not signing another form and not going through with that.
And, Your Honor, I would argue that just because he may know his right does not dispose the government of their duty to make sure that he is read, understands his right each and every time they interview him. So the fact that they may think he knows his right does not mean that they aren't supposed to read him his right, make sure he understands them, make sure that they're accurate before he waives them. That's not a knowing, intelligent, voluntary waiver.
And Judge, I would just say that Mr. Butts was not even under arrest for this case. There was no rights even needed.
Yeah, they testified.
He was in County Green for something else.
He was in County Green for somewhere else, but he was not in his cell. He was not on his floor. They took him to another place where he was not free to go.
Well, he wasn't free to go because of another reason, Judge, not because of anything to do with this case.
So I also learned, I heard him saying there that he went to Wayne State for college. So
That's correct, Judge.
question of whether or not you can understand is out the window for me. The male detective did offer and said that he might as well do a different form, a new form for today. And the defendant, Mr. Butts, stated it wasn't necessary, not those exact words. And he said it's the same rules. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. And are you familiar with your rights? And asked him that, and he said yes. I don't see that there was anything that was not voluntary about that interaction. So I'm going to find, or I'm going to deny your objection and find it to be voluntary.
Thank you, Judge. And
All right, she said what she said. There you go. His rights were given to him according to her in accordance with the law, and he turned down having to sign another one. And like she said, I heard him mention he went to college, so she basically has to have faith that he understands what he read the first time and what he's answering to this time, and that he would have the competency to say, I want to read again, or I'll go ahead and sign another form. And that's not what he chose to do.
Sergeant Jones, that June 1st interview was audio recorded,
Yes,
and it was also video recorded,
yes,
just like the day before.
correct.
And that video, we've just seen a clip here. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the video statement that you took back on June 1st?
Yes,
For the People's Exhibit 29?
Any objection outside of the one already?
Outside of my standing objection?
Yes, it'll be admitted.
And it was also audio recorded.
yes,
And you had a chance to review that audio?
yes,
And that was a fair and accurate depiction of the audio recording of the interview back on June 1st?
yes, ma'am.
And I would move for the admission of Exhibit 30.
With the same standing objection, I would admit it.
Thank you, Judge. And now I also have clips for this.
Okay.
All right, I told y'all I would warn you when the next strong trigger warning was coming. This is where it comes. I think you still have a couple minutes in before you start hearing the text messages, but this is where it gets graphic. This is, again, a grown man texting a 12, 13-year-old. It gets disturbing. So this is your warning if you are not able to take it. When they read it out, because the audio is so bad, some of you may start to understand the audio, some may not. I'm going to repeat what they say in the text messages as close to how I hear them as I can. So just, again, trigger warning, it gets disturbing and graphic. In my opinion, it does. It's not a way that he should have been in communication with a 12, 13-year-old.
Judge, do you mind if I sit while I...
No, I don't mind.
Thank you. Sorry. Yes, from Exhibit 29.
Before you, I asked you if, I'm not telling you, I asked you, did you see her? Okay, so.
And you were, Mr. Butts asked if he saw her.
Correct.
Who was he referring to?
Ziyah,
Okay, and when were we talking about? Did I see her when?
on the 9th of January, 2024.
And I'm playing clip 2.
And yeah, I think I'm going to object to the question.
What's your
Yeah.
objection?
And I believe Jarvis Butts is saying he did not see Ziyah at all on January 9th, 2024, and that's the day that she did go missing. Then y'all hear his defense attorney objecting to the not specifying who she is.
All we heard was, did you see her? I don't think there's enough context for her to make that statement. This is what they were talking about. If that's the question that was asked, I just actually go back a little bit further and play the exact question and answer.
I'm sure, Ms. Ripley, you have a full interview.
I do, Judge, but it's 3 hours long.
I don't need to hear the full interview, but if she's going to answer from the simple question, did you see her? And the answer is no, that all this other information applies. I'd at least like to hear that. That's all I'm saying.
Judge, I would say that this entire interview is admitted. If the court wants to review that, I mean, I can go back a little further. It just might take 1 second.
Now, in my opinion, going back did not help anything. I did not still, unless I still missed it because the audio is horrible. I still didn't hear them say her name. So going back, what did that help?
Judge, I would just say for context, the officer can talk about who they are talking about in general.
Just ask the question.
Who are you guys talking? Who are you and Mr. Butts and Sergeant Sullivan talking about in this interview?
Ziyah Harris.
Okay. And if there's someone else that you're talking about, do you mention them by name?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, overruled.
And I'm
When is she listen to January 9th? So if you know, how long, when was the last time you saw her before that? Right, when did she do the job? 2 days before. 2 days before, right? 2 days before I said, you were at the house, because you're the devil all the time. Yeah.
and playing clip 3.
See, this is where I feel like the prosecution should have recapped what the heck they said right there on that clip. You should be making sure that judge understands, and when you're in front of that jury, making sure the jury understands what did you just hear? Because even if a couple people pick it up, you need all 12 to pick it up.
He said something like he was on time. Okay, so the Mr. Correction sent us his stuff, and he said, hey, this is where I was. And he had it in my 9 o'clock. Yeah, but he didn't talk about my day. I don't remember which day it was, but he talked about going out to Ypsilanti and drop a car off. That was repaired. And he had mentioned you were there, and he mentioned Ziyah was there.
Okay, Ypsilanti might have been that one lady that okay, he said you and he talked about going to Ypsilanti to drop a car off that was being repaired for a lady. The only lady I could think of, since they did I put where she worked? Hold on. Oh, I didn't put if she lived in Ypsilanti, but the only one I could think of would be Talasia Moore, who said that Ziyah was with Cordell and Jarvis when they came to drop her mother's car back off to fix her mother's car. That's when I had noted that Cordell may have worn an ankle bracelet. And they asked at the time, did you notice anything unsettling? And she said she didn't. And Ziyah didn't really say anything while she was there at the house, and she didn't know who Ziyah was until later she sees the news and things like that. So I think maybe that lady lived in Ypsilanti, but we'll keep going.
But I didn't know, that's why I asked him, I'm not telling you. Just mention what he's saying, I'm not saying it, right? But,
And playing clip 4.
was anybody with you? I don't know, like I said, was there a little girl with you or more? A younger lady with you? You were by yourself? Did he drive out there also? What did you do with that? Oh, okay, no, I'm just wondering if it was a visitor or something. Oh, okay.
All right, they specifically asked Jarvis, was a little girl with you when you went out to Ypsilanti to drop somebody's car off?
And clip 5.
Alright, so at that night, like, after you dropped off and all that stuff, did you hotel or did you stay at home that night?
And clip 6.
How she was texted you on the phone. But they said she didn't have a phone. It was a phone. So she texted you from a phone number? Yeah. Or from an app? Or from it was an app. Or she would text directly to your number. It was a phone number.
Could it come in as a phone number? He said, I didn't, like, the technology is not where, but it was coming in as a phone number. Alright, okay.
So we had a call from the...
Okay. Same number?
Yes.
Okay. Did you lock in as her? Okay.
So maybe...
All right, they asked, how would Ziyah text you? Would it be through a phone number, through an app? And he kind of, I don't know, he's kind of giving, I can't really hear him as much. And they asked something about a phone call. So sorry. It's not me, but I'm still apologizing for this horrible audio.
And playing clip 7.
And that's your phone and that's her number. She's texting you from, right? She's texting this.
I'm going to pause at 7 seconds. What is it that you are showing Mr. Butts at this time?
We had a printed out copy of the text now messages.
Okay. And would those be the ones from people 16 to the 231 number?
Yes.
Okay. I'm continuing from 5 seconds.
And then if it's sent, that means that she sent it. If it's received, that means that he replied something to that helpful. So this is from a text now app. Okay, so I like said, I don't know what that is, but I know it's a phone. Yes, that's their yeah, so it converts to a phone number. Okay, so
And in clip 8.
and that's why I explained to them. But this actually is so weird when I hear of that from her that saying, okay, if you guys seen this message, sorry, I'm going to leave your number. That's all I didn't understand what that meant. Like she's leaving the messages. I didn't understand what that meant. I thought you said.
All right, so they had asked him about text now. He's saying he don't know about the app. He just knows he gets text from a number from her. And then they're pointing out the messages she was sending him. And he was like, yeah, but I didn't understand what she was sending me. I think this is when he goes back to saying, you know, I was busy. I didn't really see the messages. And we'll keep going. All right, so he's saying he would basically meet them, being his daughter and Ziyah, because they're the main ones that would work at the shop, cleaning all this stuff, and he would either give them the money the same day or the next day when they worked at the shop. And so if he's saying if I was saying I would meet her, I'm talking about meeting her at her grandmother's house.
And clip 9.
They asked, did Ziyah look fat to you? Did she look like she was showing? Was she wearing baggier clothes? And you see him shaking his head no. They asked, did her face look rounder to him? And I think he's saying she looked the same to me. Okay, this is me paraphrasing because now I'm guessing a lot, but I think he said she texted me something like, what if I was pregnant? And he said, girl, I would beat your A. Like, I think he's trying to come off as like he's not coming off as this, but he's trying to come off as like an uncle that's like, don't let these boys blah blah blah, but we know what it is for real. And he thinks that these excuses are working.
And clip 10.
Ms. Ripley,
So,
can you go back and play that one more time? The last one.
Yes. Replaying clip 9.
but I see saw her like 2 days before Christmas. Did she look back to you? She didn't look bigger, like she might have been showing. Was she wearing baggier clothes? You know,
around her? No, you just saw her. I mean, when you see somebody, every day, you don't recognize the change. When you see somebody and you don't see them for a month, you're going to notice. You never heard about her being pregnant or anything like that?
I can say what I said was she said something. When I was like, what? She said, I want to see what she was doing. It was like she wanted to get her. It was she's pregnant. She said, I heard about you today. I said that. You know what I mean? I said, I just, she knows I was the best.
I just want to know if it's just me. By clip 9 or 10, I was understanding them a little better. Let me know if y'all are picking up more words on the later clips versus the earlier clips. I just want to know. But they just replayed the last clip for the judge. We'll keep going.
Proceeding to clip 10.
So, even though it's deleted, right, this is all from the same app. And I want to make it clear though, I read through them, and I see a lot of them where she's kind of an initiator on a lot of things. And I think she's young, and she's an initiator. And I also get, there's history, you guys have a relationship with each other. We're not going to, when I say we're coming to a full road, what I'm trying to say to you is, stay on the same path with me, okay? Because you're hurting, you are hurting with all these people coming forward. Your daughter coming forward is hurting you, yes? Don't separate, stay on the path with me, because your children that are out there are hurting because they're seeing all this stuff, right? Don't let this be the next thing that they're going to see. And this is, we can go over this together. If you have any questions, we can talk about it. Okay?
All right. So she said, I've seen the history between you and Ziyah. Ziyah is the initiator of most of the messages. I'm looking at the history. Stay on the same path with me as we go down this. She said something about, his kids are hurting. Let's not hurt them more, which I don't know how these kids wouldn't hurt more after this. I don't know. But she said something like that. But she's like, stay on the same path with me. It looks like y'all had a relationship. And then we are getting to where she starts to read some of the messages.
So this starts here in March. Yes, 2023. And this is where she's identified who she is. Okay? And this number here is all your number. It's all your number throughout all the pages. Okay?
All right. She says these messages are starting from March 2023. And from here on out, this is your number. She said on all these pages, this is to your number. I'll let her keep going. I'm trying not to jump ahead.
And over here is the column that says whether the person is reading the message or not. But when we talk about the nerds, once you put something out there on the internet, it's here forever. And it's on a device, and it's in your email, and it's on your account, and it's on jarvisgoogle.com. And everything that you've searched is on there. All this stuff is leading to this. And I think that there has to be a way to break it down. And I'm trying to get you to stay with me to break this pattern. Because this pattern has been going since when you stopped walking. And we have started before that. But I think you've got a lot of heavy on you. There's a lot of heavy right here that you're holding in. And it's here.
Okay, she said, I'm trying to figure out a way to break this pattern. Y'all know he has a history of violating minors. So I'm thinking that's the pattern she's talking about. She said, what's on here is forever. It's connected to your Google account. Your searches are on there. It's your Gmail account. Let me see. Okay.
Can you call me on yourself? These are even different conversations, right? She's giving me Anna's number. It's very clear that this is her. She has sent all these messages, and then you finally reply. And I said, I called already. And I see she's hitting you up again, and then you reply, yeah, and then it goes back and forth, right? So here I can kind of see she's like, I just need somebody to talk to. So I think she's kind of reaching out to you. Was she going through her time or something?
All right. She said, I see a message where Ziyah says to him, I just need someone to talk to. And the sergeant's like, you know, was she reaching out for that? Did she need help at the time? And that's, y'all see him nod his head, yes.
So here's some more sent messages. She's tired of people telling me that they love me, and the next minute she's crying. She's falling for people traps and they treat her like shit. You're the only person I really trust.
All right, she said people treat her like SHIT, and Ziyah's telling him he's the only one that she trusts.
She asks you, do you think I'm ugly? Right? You reply, no. She says, thank you. And you ask her, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, she asked you, what are you doing? Then you reply, stop messing with people and just be mine.
All right. Okay. I think she asked him, do you think I'm ugly? Or she might, and somewhere in there, I don't know if she said ugly or uppity. I don't know. But at some point, Jarvis replies to her saying, stop messing with me and just be mine. Okay. It increases.
So then I see there's like a bunch of missed calls and things. I see there's a cat here again. She's constantly, where are you? Are you coming to get me or what? What's going on? Yes or no? It's too late. Right? Here she's sending me pictures. Do you remember what these pictures were? Those are in a separate folder. Whatever pictures she sent you. She never sent you anything that maybe she was trying to see if she looked to her or not, and you shook her hand, and you prayed without receiving it. Yeah. I mean, you received it. We know that. There's a picture. So what I'm saying is this is just a text message. So here it tells you each time there's a message. Right? Alright, so this is we're still in March. Okay. Then you said something here accompanied you. And she said, what do you mean? You said, you heard me. And she replied, you can't do that. And then she said, she'd be really going to watch love. Right? She always said, love you. All of you, I love you. Like, okay, so like a envelope. Oh. That's why we're talking about this. Things seem to be confusing, right? Alright, and we see she sent another message. She's telling me about how she's high, right? So you're like, so? And why are you mad? What are you doing? What does NTH mean?
Okay, it's getting closer, and I can't pinpoint the time it happens, but we're getting through the Ziyah saying, I love you, I miss you, I can't stop thinking about you, don't be mad at me. Then it goes straight sexual, so goes graphic, so it's coming. I'm trying to warn y'all, but this is the last point because I don't know when it's coming out. It's closer and closer.
Back and forth, you come, you get me. Then she says, here, you can only text me by this number. Don't text
finally got this app and then it's like a system number. So after this Google Meet, and you're like, yeah, so I see that there's a whole bunch of stuff in here about caller, is this all like trying to get you to call her grandma? Okay, and then just maybe she was going down some random, I love you in there. Pull up, and then you mad at me. Why would she be wondering if you're mad at her? So I see all these sent again, right? We're still only, now we're in May. This is May. What you doing? Good morning. I miss you. I miss you too. Okay. Then you sent. I can't stop thinking about you either. Yeah, see this is received. So she said here, I can't stop thinking about you. Sent, and you replied, I can't stop thinking about you either. Or her mom or something. When was it? It was in May last year. So this is around the time that she asked something with her mom. Okay, so her mom here said no. Wow. So we'll see if we can figure out what happened between her and mom. But she keeps asking, like, don't be mad at me. Like, can you tell me why you're mad at me? Do you remember why? Maybe because we're ignoring her? Or because you were busy? We don't keep you don't check the back or getting stressed. Alright, so sentence, back and forth. Something about I told you not to go into my room. Why did you take my stuff? Did you take something out of the room? I found
I can't hear him justify why he went into her room. That's what they're asking about right now, I think. And again, it's a lot. Like I said, Ziyah initiates the text messages. Are you mad at me? You know, the manipulation of the adult to the child they're grooming. Are you mad at me? I misused. Stuff like that.
So here's a bunch of shit we're gonna get at and gonna call. Then we're gonna get to this one, which is this is when we're gonna stay on the same path, okay?
Alright, she said this is where we're gonna stay on the same path because it gets explicit and he's acknowledged he's been, although he's trying to frame it in a different way, he's acknowledged that's his number to Ziyah's number back to his number. And there's just the undeniable things that are being said in here.
You
Can you read this one? Didn't I make you come faster than ever? I'm sorry for making you mad.
Okay, so I think this is Naziah saying this, but what the sergeant just read out says, "Didn't I make you come faster than ever? Are you?" I think she said, "Are you still mad?"
Do you ever think how I feel knowing that I can't have you?
Do you ever think about how I feel knowing that I can't have you?
Yes, you tried calling her. So then it goes back and forth. Then she sent you, says in June now, okay? You going to hit it from the back again?
Then I think she's saying, this is Naziah saying, "Do you want to hit it from the back again?"
And then you asked her to send me some more pictures. So send me some pictures. That's what she said. Yeah, some pictures.
He asked her to send him more pictures. Take a break to answer this question just because that's where I was just like, ooh, I gotta just hold on a second. Yes, this is still available to watch. I'll leave it up. I won't take it down. So when this is over, you'll still be able to go back and watch the other parts or the beginning of this as well. It should stay up. As long as YouTube doesn't take it down, it'll be up.
You said send me some pictures, please. Well, that's probably much clearer.
So, and then like this is going down that, just, remember what I said, is there something maybe she's, not saying you're a victim, but is there something that she's saying to certain playing with you, right? Did she ever say anything like, I like you, you're sexual, anything like that, right? That's why I was asking, right?
This is hard to talk about.
Yes.
Those are some of the questions that I asked.
That's it, right?
So he's saying they never had a sexual relationship.
In clip 11.
So this is entertain the thought.
So I want to ask you this.
I didn't hear anything in that last clip.
I can replay it.
So this is entertain the thought.
So I want to ask you this.
Thank you.
Ready? All set. And clip 12.
Send me some pictures of her after she's asking you if you're going to hit her in the back again.
As far as that goes, just send me some pictures. I see some pictures when I run into pictures of her outfit or something like that.
And clip 13.
Alright, now go back to the, are you coming over? I missed you, good night, call me. Then you randomly send her, and she's 26. I want some pussy. No, that wasn't, I didn't say text her.
All right. He texts her, "I want some PUSSY." I think I'm gonna go ahead and say it just so it can play, but I wrote in my notes, he claims that Shannon was sending him messages from the same device. Shannon is Naziah's aunt. Her biological mom's sister.
So, like I said, Whatever that number is that they use, like I said,
So Shannon sent you text messages on there too?
I said her statistics like on my phone. Like I said, it's there.
So you can have some whenever you come get me, call me when you want to tell, call me want to tell you something.
I think it said you can have fun whenever you come and get me. Call me, I want to tell you something.
You can get some today. Now here's where you can get some pussy. This is all within seconds of each other. Okay? Now here's why this is not Shannon.
Why is that not saying?
Because the next sentence is, tell her you have an inspection tomorrow and they come early.
All right, the sergeant saying I know this isn't Shannon texting you, because of the excuse of because you only have to tell someone that's being monitored to make an excuse on where they gotta go. But so I guess it's him texting Ziyah saying tell her you have an inspection tomorrow when you come through. And then I think something's gonna say so you can call grandma. Shannon, her aunt, is not gonna refer to her own mom as grandma. This is Ziyah. This is Ziyah and him. It is him and Ziyah. It is not Shannon, him, and Ziyah in these text messages that these detectives and officers or whatever are reading out. Only Ziyah is gonna say grandma.
And this is a discussion about, so you can call grandma.
Yes, I didn't, like I said, I never had those situations. Every time I asked, was thinking I guess it was to understand. So, as far as this goes, I do remember this, these,
So this was meant for Shannon.
and that wasn't for Shannon. It was for Shannon. Did anybody else say, hey, this is me, who's our phone? That's what I said, that's a stranger. Or anybody. Yeah,
Okay, so the male detective is saying no one's coming in on these messages saying, oh, hey, I'm on Ziyah's phone. This is me. So it's nothing to give him this excuse, impression, whatever, to say, oh, this time I thought Shannon had her device. And then obviously a responsible adult, even if an adult had no eyes on a kid, you are still responsible for not putting explicit stuff on anything or messaging it to a number that you know a kid is more in possession of or at all in possession of. There's no way. You need to always message them adult to adult on their line. Just being a responsible adult, even if you were not a child predator, you shouldn't do that. So either way, it would be bad, and to me, there'd still be a charge even for an adult that wasn't trying to message a kid. Because why would you expose them to that, knowing that the number is assigned to the kid? So yeah, but more excuses.
Like if you told them that there's an inspection in the shop, so they'll come over and Alright, and so are all these good morning, babe, I love you, miss you, are you naked, is this all, we're assuming Ziyah, this is, she sent.
All right. More messages. The detective said, okay, what about these? Are you naked? Good morning, babe. I don't know if she already said this. It's in my notes, so I might be ahead just a little bit, but one of them says, I think like, I want to get naked. I'm mad that I didn't.
Are you naked? I don't want to get naked. I'm mad that I didn't. Alright, so now here's where some pictures come in. This is the fit for today, which is her outfit.
She sent him a picture of her outfit for the day. And it's about to get worse again. It's not getting better on these messages. It's getting, yeah, this is still pre-trial. Yeah, I hope it goes to actual trial, Noir Angel. That's the thing, because I don't know if I saw an alert come up or like an article about him possibly being in talks of like a plea deal or something, but I wanted to go to trial. But yeah, so it's still gonna get worse on these text messages. It's not done just yet.
Another picture. This is sent, and then you send her, but I can't nut inside you, so it's different. And like I said, and she says, why you can't, because you feel before. And we said, but I had to buy a pill to do it.
All right, here's a graphic warning again. He texts Ziyah, but I can't nut inside you, so it's different. And she responds back, why you can't? Didn't you do it before? And he says, but I had to buy pills. All right, so the detective asked him, because he's still trying to stick with, no, I was texting Shannon, which is his one of the Ziyah's aunt, his baby mama of 5 kids. And he's like, how do you know who's taking over the phone? Like, they don't believe him, but they're asking him, if you're gonna say that, how do you know who has the phone at that time? And you're saying you're texting Shannon and not Ziyah.
Do you remember typing that? Which one? I remember the conversation. I just don't know how, like, I'm reading this and the end of, like, who you're talking. I'm sorry.
And clip 14.
So in here, she's talking about, she always is sent, look at how many she sent you. All that, all within the same amount, right? And she's apologizing for something. I didn't go see anybody, I swear, I came straight back. My friend lives right down the street, she didn't answer, so I came back. Wanted to see you. I'm sorry, please. I didn't see you out for nobody, I swear. Yeah, I remember it was that's she told me she tell shit. I never see you out. 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I said to her,
D. Valentine asked, did Shannon ever say it was her that was texting him? Shannon took the stand a day or two before this detective, this sergeant that's on the stand now. And what she was asked, she was shown a message from this, I'll say, history. And they asked her, did you text these? And she said, no, I did not. So that was it. I don't believe they showed the graphic ones. They might have, because I feel like I would have remembered if it was a graphic one. But she said, no, I didn't text him. So on some of them, he's acknowledged it's Ziyah, and they say, why is she calling you bae? You never corrected her on calling you that? Oh, and he also said something about Ziyah had been out at 1 o'clock in the morning. She was messaging him. I promise I went straight home. I didn't see anybody. If she hasn't said it, she's going to text something like, I can give you my Instagram password. You know, again, trying to prove herself to her groomer. I'm looking to see if I see anything else. Okay, we'll keep going.
And she says, no, I'll send you my Instagram password. So she sent you her Instagram, and she gave me the password, her Gmail password. I hope you believe me now. You really don't want to believe me, but I will tell you the truth. I just want to make your day
Okay, so she sent him her Gmail password and her Instagram password. I hope you believe me. And she said, I think she said something like, I just want to make your day better.
This, and whether you felt the same way, she thinks she's in a relationship with you. Because while she's reaching out to you, she's confiding to you, she's calling you babe, she's saying I love you, she's apologizing, I didn't do this, don't be upset, stop ignoring me. Those are all things that I guarantee everyone on the other way that if you're pissed off at you or whatever, you guys probably know better than what to say. This is not a niece-uncle conversation.
The detective said it's not a niece-uncle conversation. Ziyah believes she was in a relationship with you, and she laid out, what we've already heard on how obviously this is and they need him to talk, so they're going to ask him questions a certain way, in my opinion. But I do think that they obviously believe he knows exactly what he's doing, but they have to lay it out as if and play dumb with him and lay out the obvious on why this little girl thinks that they're in a relationship.
You may not have been looking at it a certain way, but she's looking at you a different way. Does that make sense?
And clip 15.
So there's like 2,000 messages, and I'm going to try to sit here and read them all, right? So this is where, this is still in June. It's not going on in June. Are you still picking up Janiyah? And you would ask when. She said today. You said no. She said why. And you said it's just me and you, because I was never picking her up.
All right, I'm trying to stay caught up, so I'm trying not to let it go too far. But so she said Ziyah asked Jarvis, "Are you picking up Janiyah?" Janiyah is his biological daughter, who Ziyah would go clean the shop with. Like it would be the two girls. It'd be Ziyah and Janiyah that would go clean up the shop. And the detective says he answers not that he wasn't picking Janiyah, his daughter, up. Tells Ziyah, "It's just me and you. I was never picking her up. You really didn't want her there. No way." I don't know who says that. And then maybe Ziyah says that, and then it says, "Cause she do too much in your mind." This is definitely Ziyah says, "Aunt Shannon said that she said no for today. Your mind and mine only." And I had to replay this 10 times, so I'm gonna say I'm really guessing on this part. But when she says your mind and mine only, it sounds like the detective reads out the DICK and all.
She says, okay, I really love you, that it's only me and you. I don't know why I did. Let's say you didn't. I didn't want to say that to her. It was just me and you, because I wasn't well. So that's how I got to you. Alright, so this is still the same day. Okay? She said, let's get that in here. Because I was never picking her up. I really wanted that. You really didn't want her there, no way. That's what you said. I know I didn't want her there. This is not that I'm not picking her up. This is why. You said why? Because she do too much in your mind. Mind. And Shannon said that she said no for today. I know she said no for today. And she says the meaning is your mind and mine only, the dick and all of your eyes. This is about what you said. That's what I'm like. This is about time you said, oh, this is all close to that.
She's thinking a little stronger than you're still.
And clip 16.
It was never sexual. It was never physical. It was never sexual. Well, this is sexual. I'm saying this across physical. Right, not sexual. Okay. So just so you understand, this is sexual. Right? Not sexual. Not sexual. It's all sexual. You're saying you're talking about this never sexual.
So now he's changed his tune to, we never actually got to physical. It stayed in the text messages. I think the detective's going to use the phrase like, so you're saying you were role playing or whatever, but he now is trying to say, okay, I don't, Lord, his excuses, and it's hard to hear his voice too, but I feel like he's trying to say it's all Ziyah. He didn't actually entertain it like that, but then he's saying, okay, but it never actually got physical. It stayed in the text messages. But y'all saw a few minutes ago, he was saying, no, that was to Shannon. That was to Shannon. That wasn't to Ziyah.
So this is like a session. I was in the meetings and this continues into, you're agreeing here that this was sexting for entertaining and such, you never found out. Right, that's what I'm saying. This is just role play. You were just sitting there talking, and you got to follow up, and it continues. I'm just.
And clip 17.
These pictures that she sent, what were the pictures of? And we didn't do anything. So what? Describe the pictures to me. If I didn't know what the picture looked like, describe what it would be. What was she wearing when she did the mirror? She arrested you for all of herself. Did you get her? Were they viewed like top to bottom, or? But you could tell who it was.
That was a little bit hard to hear. What photos? How did he describe the photos?
He described one of the photos that she had taken a picture in the bedroom wearing like some lingerie, nighty clothes. That some of the pictures she was nude, that she was nude from top to bottom. That some of them were a little blurry, but he could still tell that it was her.
And clip 18.
Then here you asked her, this is now in July.
I'm just going to pause at 6 seconds, Judge.
Judge, may we approach?
Yes, please.
All right, so they approached the bench about the time it's going to take to finish. So we're going to get to what the judge says at the end of the day, and then we'll be done with us together today, and then we'll see the next one when we can. Because I'm trying to take notes first, because had I not taken notes and just gone straight to this with y'all today, it would be a struggle.
Yeah, we're back on the record. Or we need to go back on the record.
Okay, I don't know.
Wow. Okay. We took a brief 5-minute break and also sidebar. We're back on the record, 2459617, the People of State of Michigan versus Jarvis Butts. We took a brief moment to have sidebar with all counsel to discuss timing. We've all agreed that we cannot finish today by 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and that this would be a good time to break until tomorrow at 10 a.m. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
And we'll come back at 10 o'clock and hopefully finish tomorrow. It was buying over argument and being done with the case tomorrow by 4:30.
All right, so that's where we'll stop today, and possibly I'll see y'all tomorrow with more. If not, when I can get my notes together and we can come back, we'll be back to watch their, I believe that'd be their last day, because I don't know if it went from the 9th into the 10th of January or if it stopped at the 9th, because this is the 8th of January right now that we're looking at 2025. So yeah, we'll see. But I will be back so we can keep going. And if this does go to trial, I already know I'm gonna be behind because I'm gonna try to take my notes, or even just, you know, because of my job, I'm gonna be coming after it's already live streamed. So if you're coming over here, it's kind of gonna be to redigest it if you've already been able to see it in real time, and just kind of, you know, be able to talk it out with the chat and see where my thoughts are and stuff like that. So just letting you know, I wish I could be real time, but I'm not independently wealthy yet, so I'm here as I can be. But I do thank y'all for everyone that's interested in trying to keep up with what's going on with Ziyah's case. So I do appreciate it. It makes it even more worth it for when I'm sitting here trying to take these notes and understand what's going on. So I will see y'all soon. All right. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everybody. Talk to y'all later. Bye.